Those that have Xbox Game Pass this month are really struggling with choice paralysis because we like to experiment and try new things, but September, there's just too many choices and something's gotta go. So I thought I'd run through the 7 releases that are coming to Xbox Game Pass this month and help decide which might you want to choose if you had to narrow it down to 1 to 3. That's certainly what I'm trying to do. Let's go through release date wise and talk about the artsy emotional indie game of the month being Grease. This is an old game that came out a while ago, I think a year or two ago. I played it myself. It is a very emotional, quickie indie. You're gonna get some fantastic art direction. It was the first game by Studio Nobita, and I can vouch, like, this is a great one-time playthrough game. You could probably just make it a single day if you just want an emotional, atmospheric story to be told as you play through as Gris, I don't know how to say her name. It's a platform adventure game though, but just definitely, if you're not ready for the emotions this month, I maybe would stay away from it, but if you want it, this is gonna be a quickie to get in. But of course, maybe you care about the new releases, which of course, the day after that, probably the day that I upload this, is Starfield. This is your AAA game of the month. There is no other AAA game on this list. The rest are like AA's or indies, but Starfield is the next game from Bethesda Game Studios, the people that gave you Fallout 4 and Elder Scrolls 5. I know a lot of people want to bring up... Did I just say Elder Scrolls 5? It's Skyrim. People know it as Skyrim. But this is really by the actual team that Todd Howard makes the big ones with. And this is their first new entry in many years. And it is an RPG through and through. Are you going to play this game for the action? No. Are you going to play this game for a lot of great artsy stuffies? Maybe here and there. It does look like it's got some good lighting, but you're playing this game to get a lot of the dialogue options, a lot of customization, choosing a character background, skill trees. You're playing this game to get an RPG in space because you haven't had Mass Effect in a long time. This is that game. And I need to build some ships in it because that's just what I do. I'm one of the few people that love the gummy ship stuff in Kingdom Hearts. A lot of people are going to be playing that, but if you want a 12-day gap, then you get to play Solar Ash, which is finally coming to Nintendo and Xbox. And that game is another indie. You know, we got like 4 indie games this month. And this game, when you look at it, it is, I'd say, a flow movement adventure. That's really what I have this labeled as, because you think of Spider-Man, think of, I think it's called The Pathless, where you're playing as Red Hooded Girl shooting arrows with an eagle. Like, this is a game you're playing for the flow movement. It's by the people that did Hyper Light Breaker and Drifter, and it's their first, like, 3D looking game, and it's just full of color and movement, and I guess even some voice acting here and there, some somewhat epic boss battles, you know, and this is another that you will get this done in under 10 hours, so you might even be able to just make a full day out of this one if you just want to break from Starfield. If you're doing that this month, this is going to be a cool, colorful movement indie you can do. 5 days after that, you have your action RPG of the month. Let's say Starfield wasn't the kind of RPG you want. You want that Elden Ring experience. You want the Dark Souls experience. Lies of P has got you covered. That is going to be the game that you want to play if you want maybe not too big of an experience. Looking at the studio's previous games, this game might round out around 15 to 30 hours, maybe. You know, it's not going to be too long of an experience of an open world or anything like that, but it definitely cries to the Bloodborne fans. So many people want a Bloodborne 2, and it looks like Lies of P might be your answer to that, being a gothic, dark retelling of the story of Pinocchio, which I guess is gonna have some kind of nose mechanic. Like, it's not gonna be a nose, but there's gonna be a lying mechanic in the game. I don't know how that integrates yet. It seems like we haven't really seen it. They just talk about it. So if you want to find that out, as well as fight some mechanical puppets and monsters and stuff, play Lies of P. That's your action adventure RPG game. And what I'm really liking about this month is that there really is variety. And that's, I think, how you can choose which of these to play. And if you want to know more about Xbox and Game Pass, make sure you subscribe. That's my plug in there. But edging away from the dark feels of Lies of P, you got your party game of the month. And I love me my party games. And fun fact, this was my most anticipated game of 2022 when it was supposed to come out then. But it's finally time. Party Animals. If you enjoyed, I think it's called Gang Beasts or something like that, it just, the derpy looking feeling of Human Fall Flat, that's what this game is. It is just a party game of everybody playing as these cute animals in Unreal Engine, super well graphicked, and just beating each other up. And there's a bunch of different game types you can have, supposedly even some that warrant up to 20 players. I didn't know that. I literally found that out as I was researching for this video, but it's usually going to be like, I don't know, 2 to 8 players, but just a fun ass party game. No story to be had here, so there's no like, you could just go in and out and just play it when you feel like it, or if you want to just have a good weekend night with the friends. This may be another little one to just kind of try out and see how much you put into it. Kind of along that vein though, if you want a more of a shooter experience, which also hasn't come up this month, but this is much more of a co-op shooter. Doesn't seem like it'd be that good single player wise. Payday 3. Payday 3 is coming out this month. It's like the first Payday game, I think, in 10 years. And this is a AA game for the month along with Liza P. And you're pretty much going to have that co-op shooter experience where you're all dressed as these masked douchebags, I don't know, that are going to be holding people hostage, robbing banks and various other stores or goods or supply warehouses, I don't know. And my hope is that you have multiple approaches that you can do, but based off of what I've seen and heard from Payday 2, there are ways that you could pull off these heists without even getting the cops involved whatsoever, which I really hope to pull that off. But if the cops do get notified, which probably is going to happen most of the time, then this is going to become basically a co-op shooter. So if you want that Back 4 Blood experience or Destiny or whatever, but you're getting a much more grounded world just doing these heists, that's going to be Payday 3 for you. And we round out the month with another game that I've been anticipating for a very long time. Quickie indie, probably, Cocoon. It's by the lead gameplay designer of Limbo and Inside as his first game from the studio Geometric Interactive. Probably like another 6-hour experience based off of his other games and like Somerville, which is from another creator from that former studio. And it's going to be a puzzle platformer adventure, which kind of is along the lines of what he has previously already made. So this makes sense, but the cool mechanic, it's always cool when a game has a mechanic. You're going to be leaping from different worlds. Like you get to go from your thing and then just jump up and then now you're in a totally different place and time or something like that. It's really weird to look at when you see the gameplay footage. But yeah, another sci-fi thing. If you want that sci-fi aesthetic, you know, you don't want to be in a grounded world like Payday 3. You want something more fancy-pantsy. That's going to be Cocoon. With all those listed, it's kind of like, how do I know which one of these games to play? And I'd say, what are you in the mood for? Because if you just tell yourself you have to play all these, then let's be real, you're not going to play all these. Maybe just narrow it down to 3. Artsy emotional indie with Grease, massive scale RPG with Starfield, flow movement adventure, Solar Ash, action RPG with Liza P, fun party game with Party Animals, co-op shooter with Payday 3, puzzle platform adventure with Cocoon, and I can't believe they just come to Game Pass this month. That's freaking insane. But if none of those tingled your jingles, that's a phrase I made up, I'll speedrun some stuff from August for you, including one of my absolute gems that I discovered thanks to Game Pass has finally returned. You got quickie indies with A Short Hike, Limbo, and Firewatch. If you want a shooter campaign to relive the glory days, then you can play the Quake 2 remaster. If you want a space flight shooter, then there's Everspace 2. If you just like to build some cities, then there's Airborne Kingdom and Humankind. Maybe you want to have a fun, scary night with friends, then there is the horror multiplayer, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. No, Paul, I'm not going to play it. Real-time strategy. That's something that I myself have been kind of craving lately and been trying this one out. Age of Empires 4 is finally on Xbox systems. It's been on PC, but now it's on Xbox. And one of the highest reviewed games of the year with the retro indie RPG looking game, Sea of Stars. And the game I was hinting at before was the platformer that is absolutely amazing, Celeste. Celeste was in those gems of games that I discovered thanks to Game Pass. And some of those games actually aren't on there anymore. So if you want to know what those are, you could watch this. But like, focus on what you can. Don't let that add to your backlog, because just choose 3 games. Just choose 3 and list them. I'm very curious what you're going to play, or at least what you're intending to. My picks for now is going to be Starfield, Party Animals, and Cocoon. And please let me know if this was helpful to you in the comments down below. And don't forget to be geek, be proud, be awesome.